I've been asking a lot of different men because this is we celebrate Father's Day in the month of June here, right?
Yes, sir.
And so I want to know, and I'm asking fathers like to tell me about fatherhood. You know,
Okay.
what does fatherhood mean to you? You know, share with me, you know, some of the experiences, the challenges that you may face as a father, some stuff that people may not recognize, that, you know, women may not realize, or something like that that's unique
Okay.
to men. And you know, you're a lucky man because you have girls and you have boys.
Yes, sir.
And so, you know, how you parent may be different. And you grew up in Africa.
Yes, sir.
So you have maybe a different approach, you know, in terms of what manhood is or what it might be. And so I just want you to speak to some of that, just because I'm collecting and compiling a combination of different perspectives and different thoughts from different men, just to see, because I'm curious, like, are there similarities in what, you know, American person says is manhood and fatherhood? Is there, you know, more focus on this and more focus on that? So just share your experience, man.
All right.
So
Yeah. So first thing first, I think as a father, I'm lucky to have had a father as I was growing up.
Okay.
Because it's sometimes one of the things that I missed. Like, I know my wife, she did not have her father with her.
Okay.
And she also grew up in Africa, in Nigeria.
Mm-hmm.
But her uncle, her mother's older brother, was that father figure for her.
Okay.
So one of the things that, as a father, I have tried to emulate is to be a better version of my dad.
Okay.
So my dad was the provider for the family. Yes, my mom was working, but her income was not as impactful as my dad's.
Okay.
So my dad at time was traveling, so my mom ended up carrying the bulk of the educational task for us.
Okay.
Up to the point that she couldn't, then my dad had to hire tutors for us.
Okay.
But back to the fatherhood. When my dad was around, he was instilling in us the type of things that are important for men when they become father.
Okay.
You need to be disciplined. You need to be compassionate.
Okay.
And everyone is not the same.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't quite understand that when I was growing up, because at times I was punished harshly compared to my siblings. But it's that indirect expectation that you have of certain children of yours, because you see the potential and you know that the child is not reaching their potential.
Mm-hmm.
So at times I was upset. Why, Dad? Why are you doing this? Why are you whooping me when, you know, my brother did the same thing, or my sister did the same thing, and he just got a warning. But at the end, I ended up understanding I'm the oldest, so the bar is set higher compared to others. Now, when I became a father, I had 2 girls first, and I was, wow, I'm gonna guard them, you know, make sure no man just come in and take advantage of them. They're gonna be protected. And at the beginning, I was a little harsher on them too, because I wanted that discipline to push through. Then I got my son, and my wife was just thrilled. So he became her favorite, much. But right there, I realized that even if you have favorites, you can't show that.
Okay.
So every child is raised differently. Every child has different skills, different gifts, different talent, and every child has different needs.
Okay.
And lately, about like 3 years ago, I also discovered that every child has its own or her own love language.
Okay.
So, child one might be a child that loves the quality time,
Okay.
while child number two love kind words, word of affirmation.
Okay.
So, if I get those two mixed up, the child that needs quality time, I'm always giving them a word of affirmation. And child number two also word of affirmation. Well, child number two is going to be in heaven because I'm speaking their love language.
Right.
But child number one, be like, I don't think Dad loves me.
Yeah, I understand.
He's not speaking my love language. So once I figured that out, it became easier to raise the kids, because I have 5 kids, so each of them have its own love language. So you gotta talk that language with that child to connect to the child.
Now you see what I told you? I told you you're a subject matter expert. 5 kids, you got a lot, man. You know a lot about fatherhood. Man.
Yes.
You know a lot about it. And you know what I'll say is this: I think the approach of understanding, and I would love for you to tell me like how you got to the place where you begin to recognize that, hey, I understand that my children are individual. Everybody's unique, and they have their own set of needs, and I need to address the individual, needs that each one has, because a lot of parents try to take a one size fits all method, right? And it's like, okay, like you said, I discipline, I got to do this, and some things overlap. Yeah. But how did you get to that place?
Because it was not working, right? Okay. So they have that saying that parenting is not for coward, right? So naturally, you want a one size fits all, because you don't want to spend too much time, because you also want to keep your personality or your own self evolving. So you have one solution and you think everything should work. Now, as a true parent, father or mother, once you see that solution doesn't work, if you do care about the child, then you have to step back and start analyzing, okay, why is it not working? I thought this would have worked. And that was where the aha moment came, when you think you are connecting with the child, and then when you are trying to have a checkpoint with the child, you realize that it's way out of bound. you thought you had it made, you had a perfect shot, but your shot was way out of bound. So you kind of have to readjust, reevaluate, readjust. One of the other things also that I learned as a father, and I'm still working on that, is to have individual dates with your kids.
Okay.
And the reason being is because the child will feel special during that individual date. Because at times as parents we're busy, we get our priorities controlled by our work, our business, or our passion, and we push to the wayside spending time with the kids, because we assume, hey, they're just kids, they they'll play with other kids, or they'll go to school and they'll be fine. But then the danger to that is then when they turn 18, they realize they don't have those special moments they can connect back to with you, the father. So having those individual dates, at least once a quarter to begin with, and then once you get successful at it, you can bring it to once a month. I'm still at the one per quarter.
Okay.
It's usually a hit and miss. That's why I have not moved to once a month yet. But you learn a lot. Sometimes I come back from work, ask the kid, "How you doing?" "I'm fine. I'm good. How was school?" "School was okay." And because I'm tired from coming back from work, I don't really take the time to really connect. So I just ask those generic questions. And if the answer doesn't prompt concern for me or prompt me to dig a little bit more, I just stop. But when you have those individual dates, the agenda is set.
Yeah.
So you can't unfocus. You have to be focused. And usually then you learn things like, wow, I did not know about this, or I did not know about that. Like one of those individual dates, I found out my son loves soccer.
Okay.
And I asked, why? Well, I always knew that you played good soccer, Dad, but I wasn't really into it. And then when you started coaching our team, I started understanding how much you knew about the game, and I wanted to do the same. And then I started to love the game even more. But I had no idea. In the same token, he is a black belt now, my first son.
Okay.
He's working toward his second degree. But he also told me, can I stop after the second degree? I don't really want to do taekwondo anymore. I don't have as much fun anymore. Like, why is that? I just don't. I just like soccer and taekwondo. I used to love taekwondo, but since I started playing soccer, I don't like taekwondo anymore. So I've been pushing him. Hey, you can get the third degree. You'd be great and all of that. But not knowing that I'm pushing him to something he doesn't like anymore. So I made a compromise. Well, they say you don't quit. So you started the second degree. How about you finish the second degree, and then after that you stop? Okay, Dad, I'll do that. But that would not have happened if those type of meetings didn't take place.
So taking that approach, is that just a part of who you are as your personality, or is that something that you feel like, would your dad have done the same thing? Would he have stopped and said, hey man, you want to do this? Or was it like, nah, you could do exactly what I say?
No, my dad was more like, you do as I said. I remember when I was fairly young, and I wanted to go to. I was pre-selected to a soccer tournament, and I wanted to make it all the way to the final selection. And my dad was flat out saying, "Hey, there's no money in soccer. You need to go to school." And that was it. That was the end of discussion.
So
now that was true. That was true at the time. There was no money in soccer, but the one that had stayed ended up making a bulk load of money, because that was around that period where the soccer started growing exponentially. But at the time, short term, he was right. Long term, as he proved, not quite so. But as a child, I did not have that challenging mindset.
Okay.
When my dad said something, that was it. That was final. My kids, on the other end, I have pushed them. Use your words. Use your word. They can all tell you. Dad always says that. Use your word. Use your word. I don't know what is in your mind if you don't use your word.
I like that.
And and they are much different, and that is challenging for me because every time I'm trying to discipline or advise, they always use a word because they know they're allowed to.
So, if your dad took that approach, was that something that did you try that initially with parenting? Like, did you try? Oh no, you're just gonna do what I say.
Yes.
Or like, what made you change? You said it wasn't working earlier.
Yeah, it wasn't working, and that was a big credit to my wife.
Okay.
She saw early on that it wasn't working, and gave me the time to see that. And then once I saw it was evident that it needed to be changed.
So I'm gonna ask you this, and I'm just thinking another question too. You say your dad, short term, was correct, but like overall, just how he viewed soccer, it's changed and just transformed so much. Sometimes as a parent, I'm sure you're not going to always make the
right
best
decision.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yes.
And so sometimes you may say something, or you may give some advice, or you may approach a situation, and it may not be the best way, right?
Yes.
Do you come back to your children and say, "Hey, I was wrong," and the way I approach this, do you do that, or is it just kind of like, how do you handle those type of situations when they arise?
So, as a person that is priding himself in always being right, it is absolutely difficult for me to do. But I do understand that I have to have that conversation every now and then when it needs to be had. So usually I get the motivation from my wife to own up to it. Like, hey, everyone knows, you were wrong here. You gotta have to talk.
So
it's not. I would say about 9 out of 10. It's more driven by what I see as a result of my not admitting, and my family kind of indirectly telling me, "Dad, you need to apologize." And 1 out of 10 is me saying, "Okay, I was wrong here. Flat out, no influence needed." So it's tough. It's tough to admit that I'm sorry.
Why? Why do you think that is?
Ego, or your ego being bruised.
Okay.
I want to maintain that image of, Dad knows everything.
Yeah, of course.
So when I see myself constantly admitting that I was wrong, it kind of put a dent into that image.
So what happens when the kids realize it? Because what you understand as an adult, as a man, you understand that you don't know all the answers to everything, right?
Yes.
But you just touched on something. The image that you want to project to the kids is that, like, hey man, I'm all knowing,
Yeah.
I always get it right, and I understand that, and I think that's very common. I had a gentleman share with me yesterday that he goes to his kids and he's quick to say, hey man, I approached this wrong, I thought about this, and the way that I came off on this, I was completely wrong, because he doesn't want his children to look at him a certain way. He doesn't want his kids to think and know, like, hey man, my dad is uncompromising in this way. You know what I mean?
Yes.
He's just this type of person, and he said that it's helped him, build stronger relationships, because his kids get to see somebody that has a complete side. They don't get the fairy tale that everything is one sided, like everything's always right. But they understand that, like, okay, sometimes I make mistakes too. Sometimes that I do things wrong too. So I think that's interesting.
One example I can give to support that. My wife had a curtain, a very tall curtain, so you can think of 2 stories high. Okay. So she couldn't figure out how to connect the string because the curtain was purchased with a 1-story string. So I said, well, we can go to a store and buy some looking like curtain strings, and then just cut the curtain in the middle, and then tie the 2 ends, and then now you have the length you need. So she said, well, I'm going to look for it. So okay. And then when she couldn't, or I guess was afraid or didn't have the time to find the matching one, I just went to Walmart and got one. So then set it up. But Cub Scout rule number 1, I guess, you got to finish the job when you start it, right?
Okay.
So I finished tying up the knot, but I did not burn them up.
Okay.
So over time, they undo.
Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And of course, everyone's like, Dad, what's going on? And looks like I forgot to burn them up. Okay, I'm going to do that. And of course, time is going by because I come back from work tired, or I had to travel, or, church activities, you name it. So finally, one broke so bad that it just untangled. So I was forced to fix it right then. And then after that, I made the time to fix the others. But, I had admitted flat out that, I got it wrong. So it's important, like you said, for the kids to see at times that the parents are not as perfect as they may claim or want it to be.
Right. And I say that because, sometimes it can be a bit of a shock as you get older as a child and realize that, hey, man, my parents aren't perfect. Whereas if you gradually understand, like, my parents aren't perfect, but they're always striving for excellence, or they're always working. If my dad doesn't know something, he's not going to make up something. He's just going to tell me, hey, I don't know, I'll come back to you with an answer. It trains them in a different way. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And so I would say, it's great that you can at least do it sometimes. I'm sure you probably work on it some more.
Exactly.
I heard you mention that, your wife prompts you. Your wife mentions to you, and I think it's a really big deal that you said that, because some men don't think that it's important to listen to your wife.
Yes.
Right? And it sounds like you actually value your wife's opinion. Some people are like, oh, no, this is my wife. You only here to serve a couple of purposes. You take care of the kids, you cook, you clean, you this. You don't tell me anything. You don't instruct me. You don't listen. And so to hear you say, my wife has said this, or my wife suggested that, and you listened and heeded the advice. Is that how did that happen? Is that an approach that you always take, or is that something that was developed over time?
I think it was developed over time. When you have I'll say discussion, not argument.
Of course, we all have discussion. Nobody.
And she makes a point, and I don't take the point. I stick to what I have in mind, and then few days, months later, it materializes as she pointed it out. You start second guessing. Okay, maybe she knew what she was talking about. Okay, but it's in the back burner. Next discussion, you might be right, and okay, see, that was just a fluke over there. and the more she makes points that end up being valid in the future, the more you start realizing, if she brings up when she had a different point of view, different angle to see it, let me try to understand that angle and see if that makes sense. And starting to use that approach has actually made me a better professional, because even at work, when someone either from my team or from another team brings a concern, it makes me step back and look from their standpoint, because no one just brings things for bringing them up.
Right.
They must have seen something that myself I did not. So I started becoming more aware of it. Even with the kids, when the kids come in and complain about another of my kids, or a situation that we harshly discipline them for, or said yeah or nay on a request they had, I had to sit back and look at it from their standpoint to see if maybe I overreacted, or I went too generic on the response. Because, for an easy example, if a father has daughters and someone comes in and say, hey, I'm taking your daughter to a date. Well, naturally you want to protect your daughter. Like, who are you? How long have you been going out together? That kind of stuff. Right? So naturally, those are generic questions that you ask to protect. But do you actually know, let's say in this case, the boy who is trying to go out with your daughter? So if I know the kid, like I've seen the kids come into the house, maybe I've dropped my daughter to their house, then there are certain questions that have already been answered that need to be answered. So I'm not going to be generic. I'm going to be more specific. Oh, what movie are you going to see? So I'll go to the next level. Right?
I'm curious. When it comes to just listening, because you brought up work, and I always ask people, because I think we can learn so much from everything that we do in life.
Yes.
And you kind of answered the question, but in your job, in your work life, did you always feel like, hey man, I have to be the person that knows everything, I always have to be the person that's right? Or do you look at it like, hey man, I have a team, and like collectively our goal is to make sure that we get these projects right, or we get whatever the assignment is right, and so it takes everybody collectively coming together to find the proper solution.
On this one, it's almost both. So over the years, I've been at UPS for about 23 years now. So I have realized that it's important to know a little bit more in the subject or topic or arena where you are walking. And in the same time, it's also important for your team to be knowledgeable of that. So at first, it was more, in the beginning of my career, it was more like, hey, I just need to know everything, because I don't want to rely on others to get my task completed. If I know it all, I can just get it done. I can just get it done. And then as my years of experience increased in the company, I realized, nope, you can't know it all. You need to network with people from other groups. You need to leverage other people's knowledge, because no matter how much you try, you won't know it all.
I like that phrase.
Yeah.
Leverage other people's knowledge. Yeah, I like that.
So, and that's how I ultimately evolved. So now, instead of just knowing it all, I'm like, hey, you are great in this department. Can you teach me about this? So I have at least a basic understanding of what you guys do. And when I need you, or I need your team, I know that it is your team that I need because of this basic understanding that I have. I don't know all of what you guys do, but I have a basic understanding for the task to be completed. And I love using the car examples because the car is so simple and yet so complex. If someone takes a car to a maintenance shop, a mechanic shop, they can only work on the mechanical portion of the car, the electrical portion of the car. That's about it. If you need a body repair, that kind of stuff, you need to go to a body shop. Yeah. So with that, it's difficult, right? If you have someone who is great at body work for cars, they may have some mechanical and electrical knowledge on how the car needs to work, but no matter how good they are, they may not be as good as the mechanic who has a certification for the mechanical aspect of the car or the electrical aspect of the car. So that body work auto repair person will need to rely on that mechanic to get the car properly fixed. I mean, you can go at it on your own, but the chances are you might forget a thing or two because that's not your area of expertise.
So I'm going to ask you two questions. One, how do you leverage your wife's knowledge and her expertise? How do you leverage that?
Yeah. So when I'll say it's like most dad, I guess I would say, where if a tough question comes in, go and ask mom.
Good smart man, right?
So when you realize that it's gonna be a tricky situation, we do leverage her knowledge and expertise indirectly without even knowing. Because how many times, I'll hey, go and ask mom, go and ask mom, go and ask mom. And then when mom would chime in, you say, okay, let's go and ask dad. Well, unless the child tells her, hey, by the way, dad already asked me to come and ask you. So sometimes the kids will just play along and then see how that turns up. Okay, dad, I asked you, you told me to go and ask mom. Now we are both coming to you.
So I appreciate you, giving me some time and just sharing some of your experience as a father, and I appreciate it. And so I'm going to ask one final question.
Yes.
How has being a father changed your life or impacted your life?
I would say fatherhood is probably one of the most blessed thing that has ever happened to me. Probably second after marrying my wife. Okay. It's very interesting from the standpoint that if someone had told me you will give up soccer, like playing the game rigorously as I was before being a father, I would have said no way. But now, I try. When I had my first daughter, I'll go to the soccer field. I'll take her, and I'll say, "Well, let's let's go. You can either sit. So I bring a chair. You can sit, put her in the shade. You can sit here, read a book or be on my phone, and I'll play the game. And I did not realize that was a message from my wife to say, you need to start thinking about stopping. I mean, you're not single anymore, let alone now you're a parent. So when our second daughter came, it became a little bit tougher, but I was still at it. And then my son came, third one, it became extremely difficult. But I was still pushing for it. And when the fourth one came, okay, that was it. I'm like, okay, I'll play every now and then when I can, or find a place where I can go and drop off the kids while I play. But it was not at the same frequency. But it started decreasing. And then, of course, because I was also getting older, I was not as physically fit as I used to. So that was those two messages kind of coming together and say, hey, you need to focus more on the parenting. And then the selfishness. I remember my mom, when I was growing up, she always said, I will not share food with anyone. As soon as they touch it, that's it. I am not interested in continuing that meal with that person. If we have to share the meal, you give me my plate, you get your plate, I eat from my plate, you eat from your plate. Someone who doesn't know me will come in, hey, that looks good, can I try that? They take a clean fork or a clean spoon. Just take a small piece of it. I'm done. No double dipping, no nothing. I'm still done. When I became a parent, I'm eating, and either 1, 2, or 3, or 4 kids, 5 kids come in. They want to try. Hey, that looks good, Dad. They try it out. After they've tried, I'm just continuing eating. And my mom asks me, like, what just happened? Me, your mom, if I take something from your plate, you will say no. But your kids, you say yes. So that helped a little bit with my selfishness. Or if I have something that I love and the kids are interested in eating it, I will give it to them, no problem, compared to when I was growing up.
Never.
You should have gotten your own.
Oh my goodness, man.
Yeah. So, and then as a father, and I guess the mom also goes through that, but more so for the father, that constant worry that the kids are going to be okay when they grow up. I know the moms also do. They also have that in their mind. But as a father, I think seeing how they are growing, I sometimes project into what I will see if they continue in certain behavior. And when the behavior is not leading to something very promising, I will just snap and harshly intervene. Like, no, you can't do this. This is why, and give the explanation. Now, at times, depending on how I interject, it's too raw.
Okay.
And my wife, again, there will be, hey, you need to consider the audience. Bring the message in a way that is able to be absorbed by the audience. The audience is not you. Because I grew up differently. Because in Africa, it's we don't have government programs that will be protecting kids. So, so the parents raise the kids the best they know, and that's all there is.
Mm-hmm.
Here, I gotta worry about the laws. If I beat up my child because I was whooping them aggressively and they have marks on their body, they go to school, the teacher sees the mark, well,
somebody coming to knock on your door.
The teacher is going to make a note. I don't know, but I saw that note on that child, or that mark on that child, just letting you guys know. Next thing I know, social service will come in. Hey, we just come in checking onto this child. Is he okay? Or is she okay? Nothing to make out of visit, but if I retaliate, the teacher will see even more evidence, and you know, the ball will just keep getting rolled. So there's a lot of things to be worried about as parents nowadays. We have technology, like I've talked to my wife all the time. I want my kid to be able to control the technology versus having the technology control them. So sometimes we have interesting discussion about are the kid equipped to handle what is being handed to them, or should we let them have it because they have the tool for it to handle it. So it's a blessing to see how the kids are growing up, and it's pleasing to see when I go to graduation parties and I see how other kids from other parents have excelled in school or in other aspect of life. Looks like my kids are on the right track. So that gives me that hope that we're doing all right. Even though we might be hard on us at times, we're doing all right. So there is no one solution fits all. I think if I had to give a final advice here as a father, it would be to constantly look for improvement in the way you're fathering your child or children. Just because you did it well yesterday doesn't mean it was going to work today.
That's good advice. Good advice. Thank you, sir. I appreciate your time. I thank you for having a cut in the conversation and, sharing some of your life wisdom and experience as a father and as a man.
All right. Well,
appreciate you.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.